Hi everybody, my name is Cam Cummings. I'm a math teacher here at Frontier High School, and I'm going to be interviewed by my friend Ross.
Yep. Now, question number one. How was your life in the 1980s?
The 1980s were a great decade for me. I turned 18 and graduated from high school in 1980, so I went from 18 to 28 in the 80s, which is a really interesting time in life when you're independent but young. So that was a really good decade for me.
Awesome. Question number two. Favorite band?
Rush, hands down.
Yep.
Mr. Blumel and I are huge Rush fans.
Question number three. Favorite song by Rush?
By Rush from the 80s?
Yeah.
It has to be from the 80s?
Yeah.
I would say probably Limelight would
Awesome.
be my favorite song. Yeah.
I love that song
You
too.
like Limelight as well? Yeah,
Yeah.
really good song.
So what's a song that you like, that's, from,
A different band?
Yeah,
Somebody different?
Yeah.
I think Crazy Train from Ozzy came out
Okay.
in the 80s as well, if I remember correctly. It may have been really late 70s or early 80s, but that's another good song from the 80s as well.
Awesome. Question number two. Question number, what question was that on?
3 or 4, who's counting?
Yeah. Question number three. Favorite 80s movie?
My favorite 80s movie is the original Blade Runner movie
Okay.
with Harrison Ford, where they have the narration in the movie, kind of like a film noir from films in the 40s and 50s. That was my favorite movie of the 80s.
Awesome. Favorite TV show?
Gosh, from the 80s, that's a hard one, Ross. From the
Yeah.
80s, I didn't watch a lot of TV. I was in Germany for a couple years, and they were way behind on TV shows. When I came back in the late 80s, I started watching Miami Vice, the original TV show from there. The Cosby Show was really popular at that time as well. Can't think of a whole lot of other ones. Didn't watch a ton of TV back in those days.
Okay. Nice. What was the most memorable thing from that time?
Well, from that time, graduation in 1980 from high school, and I served 4 years in the Army from 83 to 87. Was stationed in Germany, got to travel around Europe, and then when I got out, I was stationed in Georgia. So that was probably a pretty memorable 4 years there. Being young, single, traveling around the world, seeing different parts of the country and the world.
Nice. Question number 7. If you could go back to the 1980s for 1 month, what would you do more of?
What would I do more of? I would have hung out with my family and friends more often, especially my family, because when you turn 18, you kind of become an adult, you start to do a lot of your own things, and you don't go to family events as much or hang out as much. So I would definitely want to go back and spend more time with my family, especially my younger brother and sister who are growing up underneath me as well.
Okay, neat. Question number 8. Do you have any regrets about this era?
About that era, no. That was, like I said, that was a great decade. Probably one of my favorite all-time decades was the 80s.
Okay. Did you have a favorite sport at the time?
Basketball.
Okay.
I used to love watching the Lakers and the Celtics with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and all those teams throughout the 80s battling each other. That was really fun.
Neat. Did you go to any concerts or special events during that time?
Yeah, towards the later part when I got out of the service, went to my first Rush concert actually, and then ended up going to about 25 of them total after that.
Wow.
But I definitely went and saw Rush in the 80s. I can't think of any other bands really that I went and saw. Maybe in the very early 80s when I was out of high school, I went and saw some bands like Styx, and I saw Kiss in the 70s when they first were around. But yeah, Rush would be the main one again.
Okay. So do you have a really funny memory you wish to share while growing up in the 1980s?
Just how technology at that time was really radically changing. You started to develop the video game consoles where you could do different games with a cartridge rather than just the Atari Pong game. And just technology in general. I remember getting a pager for the first time then. They didn't have cell phones. and then computers started coming out. But one of my favorite places to hang out was the old arcades, where they had the big stand-up games of Asteroids and Pac-Man and Centipede and all those classic retro games. That was a lot of fun, going there and seeing that technology, and as the games came out and got better and better and better, it was a lot of fun.
Amazing. So what was your favorite video game?
My favorite video game at that time, hands down, was Donkey Kong.
Awesome.
Yep, that was my favorite. The original big stand-up arcade Donkey Kong game. I used to play it. It was at a little pizza place where I was going to college, so I used to go there and get a sub sandwich or a pizza and play hours of Donkey Kong.
Amazing.
Yep.
Just looking over, I went over all the questions, hopefully. I did go out of order.
No worries, Ross.
And yeah, do you mind if I ask you some other questions?
Sure, shoot. Go ahead.
Your favorite 80's, phrase to say, like rad or...
Back in those days would probably be radical was a big saying. Dude was big back then as well, saying dude. And as far as like catchphrases or buzz phrases that you would see in commercials or things like that, Wendy's, the hamburger fast food place, had a saying, "Where's the beef?" And everybody would walk around saying to each other, "Where's the beef?"
Awesome. Well, this concludes the interview. Thank you for participating. I had a very good time talking to you, Mr. Cummings.
Thank you, Ross. I appreciate it. Looking forward to see your YouTube channel.
Yep. And guys, thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. If you want to subscribe, you can. And please like the video. I'm at 228 subscribers, and I would really appreciate it if you got me to 300.
That's it. That's the next goal.
Yep.
300 for Ross.
See you later, guys.